The 76ers are one of the hottest teams in the NBA. After winning 5 of their last 6 games, they've moved up in the standings to 2nd in the East. The James Harden trade is reaping instant reward for the Sixers, as the acquisition of Harden has completely bolstered their offense. It's early, but the Sixers are 4-0 with Harden in the lineup. They did recently suffer a defeat to Miami, but the Sixers rested Harden and they were playing on a back-to-back. Choosing to load manage Harden is a smart idea because it will keep him 100% healthy for the playoffs. Going into the playoffs, the Sixers now have one of the scariest trios in James Harden, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey. James Harden has given Joel Embiid the superstar teammate he's needed for years now, and somehow, in just his 2nd year, Tyrese Maxey has emerged as an excellent third option behind these two. Stick around to see how these three have overnight become such a dominant trio. Let's start off with the beard. James Harden has been playing at an MVP caliber level ever since joining the Sixers. In Brooklyn this season, he looked a step slow, but after taking 3 weeks off to rest his hamstring, he now looks as fast and explosive as ever. This is reflected in the fact that his scoring has gone up from 23 points per game to 27 a game on the Sixers, and his efficiency has skyrocketed from 41% to 59% shooting from the field. James Harden is easily beating defenders off the dribble, and he's been drawing fouls on his drives at a higher rate than he did on the Nets. On the Nets, Harden was averaging 8 free throw attempts per game, and now on the Sixers, that's up to 10. Just like he did for years in Houston, Harden is a master at driving to the rim, extending his arms where defenders often find themselves reaching in, and sending the beard to the free throw line. Harden's finishing at the rim has also gotten much better on the Sixers. On the Nets, Harden found himself having a hard time finishing in traffic, only shooting 54% within 5 feet of the basket. But now Harden is shooting 77% from that range. He's getting a lot more elevation on his drives at the rim, which is helping him to convert at a much higher rate. Another area of Harden's game that's returned in Philly is the step back 3. The step back 3-pointer is Harden's signature move, and it's helped to make him one of the greatest scorers in NBA history because he creates so much space off the move and hits the step back 3 at a high percentage. The only thing defenders can do is put a hand up and pray for a miss, but on the Nets this season, that shot abandoned him. Now on the Sixers, the step back 3s are dropping at a high percentage. On the Nets, Harden shot 33% from 3, and on the Sixers, he's now hitting 50% from 3. After looking like a diminished version of himself for the first 44 games of the year, Harden's scoring and efficiency is way up. But while his scoring is great, it's truly Harden's playmaking that has taken the Sixers to another level. Because he's such a dangerous scorer, Harden regularly draws double teams and traps, and he's very good at punishing extra defenders by finding the open man. Because Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey are really good at scoring off the ball, they both complement Harden extremely well. Maxey is shooting 42% from 3, so he's one of the top beneficiaries of Harden's drive and dish plays. And Embiid has also been a huge beneficiary from Harden's playmaking. Instead of having to work for every basket, Embiid is now getting some of the most wide open looks he's had in his career. Speaking of Embiid, let's talk about how otherworldly he's been this year. Embiid is the main reason this trio exists, as it was his MVP level play that attracted Harden to Philly in the first place. His skill and agility in a big, strong 7-foot frame make him a mismatch for virtually every defender. Embiid is simply too big and too strong for most bigs to handle down low. Once he gets close to the basket, there's nothing opposing defenders can do to stop Embiid from finishing strong. Embiid is tough enough to handle on the block, but he's also just as much of a threat to score as a face-up player, where he'll either blow right by his man for a nice finish or leverage the threat of a drive to knock down a mid-range shot. And now Embiid has become a legit 3-level scorer, where he's able to hit 3s at a high percentage, and now he's become so deadly where he can consistently hit 3s off the bounce. It's this insane offensive arsenal that has made Embiid the NBA's leading scorer. And it isn't just his scoring that makes him great, he's also a pretty good passer. Teams often send Embiid double teams in the post to get the ball out of his hands, and Embiid is good at dishing the ball and finding the open man. He's also one of the league's best defenders, which is why he's been named to 3 all-defensive teams in his career. Embiid is a great rim protector. He doesn't block a lot of shots, as he only averages a little over a block a game, but he's a master at using his size and length to contest and alter shots at the rim. Whether it's breaking up pick and roll passes or contesting driving players, Embiid is one of the best paint protectors in the league. Lastly, we have to talk about the third member of the Sixers' Big Three in Tyrese Maxey. The 21st overall pick in the 2019 draft has become an absolute stud in just his second year in the league. Maxey's head coach back at Kentucky, Coach Calipari, said whoever passes on Maxey will regret it. And with the way he's playing, teams are definitely kicking themselves for letting Maxey slide past them in the draft. In the Sixers' 21-point comeback against the Cavs recently, Maxey scored 23 of his 31 points in the second half, showing that he can flat out take over games. Maxey is a very quick player, which allows him to easily get past the first line of defense, and he can finish pretty well once he's in the paint. Whether it's reverse layups, floaters, or high off the glass finishes, Maxey is an excellent layup maker. But what makes Maxey such a great third option is his versatility. He's great as an off-ball player where his ability to cut to the basket and hit catch and shoot threes perfectly help him to complement both Embiid and Harden. But he can also play on the ball when Harden needs to take a breather. In the last 5 games, Maxey is averaging 25 points per game on over 60% shooting from the field and 60% from 3. Very few NBA teams have a third option this dynamic next to 2 top 10 players. With their Big Three, the Sixers have an absolute embarrassment of riches, which puts them in great position to contend for the championship. Anyway guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Do you think the Sixers have the best trio in the league? Can they win the upcoming title? Tell me in the comments. If you want to see more dope Sixers content like this, make sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.